For those that don't know me, my name is Michael Imhotep. Have I met people in here? Have you heard my show, anything like that? Okay, good. My show is the African History Network show. It can be heard every Thursdays, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on blogtalkradio.com, or you can visit my website, africanhistorynetwork.com. When you come and see us in the back, we'll have some information for you. What I'm going to do here, and this is my phone number here, very valuable phone number, okay? 313-462-0003. So if you have any questions, you need me to do a presentation, maybe at your school, you're a teacher, something like that, please contact me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick little introduction to a 2-part 9-hour presentation that I've done called the Media's Deliberate Destruction of the African American Family. Okay, has anybody seen part of that presentation or maybe come to Nandy's Knowledge Cafe where I've done it, or the Truth Bookstore? Okay, a few people. Okay, so most people you haven't seen it before. Interesting. How you doing, Brother Nolan? Well, I was over at the East Meets West Holistic Fair since 9 o'clock this morning, passing flyers out over there, and I had a vendor table over there also. Basically with this presentation, what we deal with very quickly is we deal with the origin of a lot of the stereotypical images that we see in the movies and TV shows today. Okay? We also identify stereotypes and the negative images, the origin of them going back to 1829, the Jim Crow character created by a white entertainer named T.D. Rice. Okay? We also expose the statistics that are presented about relationships and marriages, etc., that are purposely misrepresented to cause hysteria in the community. Just like everybody's heard the statistic, 70% of African American women are single. Everybody's heard that? It was all over Oprah. Even ABC Nightline with Steve Harvey did a show, a 1-hour show, dealing with how hard it is for an African American woman to find a black man. Okay, so I go through and show hard evidence of how these statistics are being misrepresented. Okay, and they're designed to cause hysteria in the community. We also deal with understanding why hip-hop went from positive to negative, and deal with solutions to the problem. Now, whenever I deal with information that may be controversial to some people, because I don't know people's knowledge levels here or your belief system, I usually start out with something like this. I have people hold their fingers up in a circle like this, and I usually say something like this. The space inside this circle represents my realm of knowledge. Everything that I think I know about whatever I think I know is represented within the circumference of this circle. I must keep in mind that there are still things to know that exist outside the circumference of my own awareness. Now, the reason why I say that is because oftentimes when people hear something that contradicts what they believe or what they think they know, they automatically reject it without doing any research to determine the validity of what they think they know or believe. Okay, let me give you an example. A lot of people are shocked to find out and want to come after me when they found out that nowhere in the biblical text does it mention that Jesus the Christ was born on December 25th. They want to fight me, but I say, cite the verse. It's not in there at all, period. And I have evidence to back that up. And why Christmas is celebrated on December 25th. Now, when I do this presentation, I do it for 2 reasons. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. Number one, I do it to make you think. Okay, because if I can get you to think, then you'll seek out answers. If I can get you to think, then you'll ask questions. And if you ask questions, you'll seek out answers. And number 2, to provide the information, the historical resources, books, websites, articles, things like that. That's what I do all throughout that presentation. All right, let me fast forward across the page. Now, to understand quickly, in a comical way, the distortion and the theft of our history, okay? How many people saw the clip from 1977, the Richard Pryor show, when he was a Egyptologist? Anybody see a couple people? Okay, so it's going to be new for some people.
Good heavens, man! Great Scott, we've discovered the fountain of all knowledge of Egypt in the entire world. Do you realize the importance of this moment, Smedley?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you see the brilliance, the untold years?
I see it, sir.
This is medicine. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Swine.
Look! What is this?
See.
Says, cannot. This is the elixir of life, sir.
The elixir of life?
The cure for all diseases.
Wait. See.
Wait, there's an inscription on the bottom.
Give it to me.
Open at other end.
Lumix. this is?
What is it, Buddha?
It's the book of life. In the beginning, when man arrived on earth, the black gods did leave their spacecraft and they walked and they named the beasts of the sea and the animals of the land.
Heavens.
And man in his blackness did walk the earth, making medicine.
Medicine?
They discovered type. These were all black people got down. Wait a minute. This ain't, there ain't nothing in here about whitey. This is ours, Jack. Wait till the brothers hear this.
Buddha.
I'm gonna get this book out of here, baby. This tells the real tea.
Buddha, control yourself, don't you see?
What you mean, Jack? Look at this here. Black people started the music and the brain surgery back in the year 3 BC.
Yes, of course, Buddha.
Man, they was getting down. This is it, brother.
Yes,
everybody gonna know about this. This book, we can change the history. Civilization will be changed.
By all means.
Yeah, this is gonna be it.
Get the bulldozers, there's nothing here.
But.
Shut up! Good heavens, time for tea, eh? What?
All right, now, even though that's comedy, and that was 1977, that's what Richard Pryor was dropping on us back then, okay? And what he was showing was what happens when our history is distorted and taken away from us. Once that happens, then you can present negative images, characterizations, things like that are lies about a people. But you have to wipe out that history to do this. If they know who they are, then if they don't have any real life representatives of this distorted image, then it's very hard to lie about them. Okay? So what you saw in that 1.5 minute little skit or 2 minute skit was what happens when you start getting right knowledge and start waking up. Okay? And he said, I've got to get this book out of here. The brothers back home are not going to believe this. This will change history. Okay? So this is how I open up the presentation. Now, very important. Dr. Wade Nobles, one of our famous African-centered psychologists. Anybody familiar with Dr. Wade Nobles? He always says, power is the ability to define and shape reality and to have other people accept your definition of reality as if it were their own. Power coming from the Latin word potere, meaning to be able. And this is what's happened. Because we've been stripped of our knowledge of ourselves, people have been able to give us a false knowledge, a false history. All right? Now, I go through the presentation. I deal with the historical origin of racism, evolving from the 16th, 17th, and 18th centuries. I break that down also. Also, who's this person here? Good, because I did this one time just a couple months ago. They said this was Coleman Alexander Young. Somebody said that in the audience. I'm like, oh my God, that was the first African-American mayor in Detroit. I'm like, oh my God. It said Father of Black History Month. I didn't know Coleman Young was the Father of Black History Month. Okay, but in here I showed, anybody see in 2006 the 60-minute interview that Morgan Freeman did, that Mike Wallace did with Morgan Freeman, where Morgan Freeman says that Black History Month is ridiculous, and he said he didn't want a Black History Month. He said, you're going to relegate my history to 1 month. I showed that in the presentation. I don't have time to get into it now. But this deals with one of the ways that our history has been distorted, to the point where we don't know the origins of Negro History Week, which started in 1926, created by Dr. Carter G. Woodson, because he was an educator and realized that not only did not the children know our history, but the adults didn't know our history. So he chose the second week of February because it contains the birth dates of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. That's why it's in February. It has nothing to do with it being the shortest month of the year, like Whoopi Goldberg said on The View this past February. It has nothing to do with it being the coldest month of the year or anything like that. And when people postulate these lies about Black History Month or African Heritage Month, which is what Manu calls it, and this is what we need to expand it to, they justify why we still need it in the first place, because they don't even know the history of it, okay? 1976 is expanded to a full month, Black History Month, okay? It's officially recognized by the United States government. The president at the time was Gerald Ford. And if you go online and Google it, you can read the actual speech that Gerald Ford did, and the United States officially recognized Black History Month as a national holiday. A lot of people don't know that all other cultures and so-called races have their own cultural celebrations. Jewish American History Month is in May, started in 2006. National Hispanic Month. Hispanics have 2 national monthly celebrations. National Hispanic Month is September 15th, October 15th, as well as Hispanic Heritage Month, September 15th, October 15th. I give all these sources in the presentation, but if you check out brownylocks.com and go to answers.com, you can check all this stuff out. Now, very interesting, all these cultural celebrations that other races have started after 1976. Started after Black History Month became a national, a monthly holiday, or a monthly celebration recognized nationally.
Well, how come we don't know anything about it?
Huh?
How come it's not televised?
Because power is the ability to define and shape reality and have other people accept your definition of reality as if it were their own. If they wouldn't treat you right, why would you expect them to teach you right? The sooner we wake up and realize nobody's coming to save us, whether they look like Barack Obama or Mitt Romney, the sooner we realize that it's going to be us, period, to succeed or perish, the better off we'll be. 1922, in the Crisis magazine, Dr. W.B. Du Bois writes, and I'm paraphrasing, may God write us down as asses if ever again we put all of our faith in the Democratic or Republican Party. 1922, I got the evidence. It was republished in the book in 1969 by him. All right, going quickly. Okay, so I go through and deal with the pyramid principle from Dr. Linda Jeffries, how African history and culture forms your foundation of everything, and it influences your economics and your politics. Okay, if this is out of balance, if this does not exist, then even though we spend our gross domestic product is $1 trillion a year, it explains why only 2% of our dollars are spent with African American owned businesses. No other ethnic group operates so financially irresponsibly like that. Okay, and this explains why communities look the way they do. All right, let me fast forward through this quickly. I'm about to wrap up in a minute here. We got a quick announcement. All right, so I deal with a lot in this presentation. It took me, I have hundreds of articles at home. I do constant research. Anybody comes to my apartment, very few people do. They know I don't have a whole lot of places to sit because I have file folders all over the place, books over the place. You guys, my girlfriend over there should tell you that. But, you know, so maybe don't ask you that, but that is the truth. Now, how many people saw the movie The Princess and the Frog or took your children to go see this movie? What did you think about the movie? Well, you saw this before, so don't comment. Did you see my presentation when I did this before?
No.
Oh, okay, well, go ahead.
First thing that stood out to me is why the love interest has to be non-black.
Oh man, you one of the first people to say that.
I mean, to me, that's the stark. You know, I got it at home, and it bothers me, not only when I see it, it bothers me that the only time a sister, you know, or not just in that movie, but most of the time, they make sure that we only see one of our people, whether it's male or female, with another people.
Right.
It can't be black on black.
Okay, let me go through this. Let me go through this quickly. All right, so in the movie, let me break this down. This is one of the most destructive movies we could show our children, and I watched us take our children, take our daughters to this movie. Our daughters had on the princess dress and the tiara on their head, things like this. Number one, in the movie, the father dies early in the movie and leaves the mother and daughter to fend for themselves. Haven't you heard the old stereotype that black people die first in the movie? Now this is a movie showing African American characters and the black man dies first, and the only other African American male significant character in the movie is who? The voodoo priest. The voodoo priest was the African American male character who had the most screen time, and he's evil. And if you go back and watch this movie, he was trying to destroy Tiana, Princess Tiana, the sister who becomes a princess. Okay? So what this movie shows is, number one, the African man is depicted as her enemy. All right? How many people saw this movie? Raise your hand. You're all silent.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it. Okay, go watch this movie, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. Now, she finds solace in an ally with this Eurasian-looking guy right here, who she ends up marrying. His name is Prince Naveen, and he marries her. She becomes a princess. All her dreams come true. She lives happily ever after. Okay? And what this teaches our daughters is that you can find happiness in everything you want and become a princess, because some fathers call their little daughters princesses, right? Okay? The ones that know who their fathers are. Okay? They call them princesses. So this shows you that you can find happiness with a man who doesn't look like you. And they depict in the movie the black man as her enemy and being voodoo and being evil. Not just a witch doctor, but a voodoo witch doctor.
Were these cartoon characters?
Yeah, this was one of the biggest box office movies of 2009. The Princess and the Frog, 2009 I think it was. The Princess and the Frog. This is one of the biggest